I've made quite a few videos featuring the Form T1, and all those videos showcase the NVIDIA GPU until now. Today we have the AMD Radeon 9070 XT, the gaming OC model from Gigabyte. And this is one of a few 9070 XTs that fit inside the T1. The 9070 XT is aimed at the RTX 5070 Ti. This model retails for around $730 US, and we do see some strong rasterized performance in 1440p and 4K. The 9070 XT uses the Navi 48 processor based on the RDNA 4 architecture. We have 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 video memory. The gaming OC model has a boost clock of 3.06 GHz and a total board power of 330 watts. For the I/O, you get two HDMI 2.1B ports and two DisplayPort 2.1A ports. To even qualify to fit inside the T1, the card has to be no longer than 325mm. Luckily, the gaming OC model has a total length of 288mm. With a card thickness of 56mm, technically a 2.75 slot card. However, due to the card's fan placement, the 3 and 3.25 slot modes are the only option. The overall design is gamer-like, but the charcoal gray color is neutral enough for me, personally. This card does offer some RGB for those interested, but relatively subtle for an AIB card. Like many third-party GPUs, the heatsink extends the full length of the card, with a metal backplate to help with heat dissipation. You get a dual BIOS switch, one for performance and the other for the silent mode. To install the card, you need to first set the T1 up in the 3-slot mode or the 3.25 slot mode if you have space. You may need to add a 5mm standoff to the riser bar for a total of 40mm. The fans protrude about 1mm above the shroud. This causes the fan to clip the side panel, something you really want to avoid. For this build, we're running the 9800 X3D chip for an all AMD build, a first for the channel. For the motherboard, we're running the Asus ROG X670EI, a small but powerful AM5 motherboard. For the cooler, we're using the Thermalright AXP90X53 full copper CPU cooler, paired with the Noctua NF89 Chromax fan, a popular fan swap for the AXP90. We have 64GB of DDR5 6400 MB transfer memory from G.Skill, the Ripjaws S5. A 2TB SSD from Oracle, the IG740 Pro. We're rocking the Asus ROG Loki 750W SFXL power supply. Because the 9070 XT gaming OC uses three 8-pin PCIe power cables, we're going to use the stock cables on this one. I'm also using the fan dart from EGA, making mounting the Fantex T30 fans extremely easy. The dual T30s are set to exhaust, normalized at 1000 RPM, while the Noctua A9 is set to 1600 RPM, with a combined sound profile of 36 decibels or 1 to 2 decibels above ambient. The ambient temperature in the studio was about 20 degrees Celsius. The 9070 XT at idle is around 27 degrees or 7 degrees above ambient. The 9800 X3D's idle temperature is at 43 degrees or 23 degrees above ambient. When I first installed the card, the system crashed every 20 to 30 seconds. I installed the latest AMD drivers, which delayed crashes but didn't solve the problem completely. In City Skylines 2, it wouldn't launch at all. I tried removing the previous drivers, running DDU, rolling back drivers, and even forced PCIe Gen 4 in the BIOS. Still unstable. To fix a clean install of Windows, once the OS was wiped and freshly installed, the system ran fine. These issues may not affect everyone, but highlights the fragile state of AMD's graphics drivers. Let's look at how the 9070 XT performs across a few demanding titles. In Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p native, the card averaged 93 frames per second. The GPU power was around 320 watts, and the card peaked at 72 degrees during sustained loads. At 4K native, FPS dropped to 41 frames per second, power remained around 325 watts, and the GPU climbed to 74 degrees. In Black Myth Wukong at 1440p native, we saw 58 frames per second, power usage was around 310 watts, GPU temperature around 71 degrees. At 4K native, it dropped to 33 frames per second. In Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at 1440p native, we see 164 frames. With FSR 4 at 1440p, power jumped by 36 watts, but only gained 1 frame per second. At 4K native, we see 110 frames per second. Temperature climbed to 73 degrees. FSR showed almost no benefit in 1440p. At 4K, it actually reduced performance by around 14 frames per second. Power draw only slightly decreased, making the performance trade-off hard to justify. This may point to a driver issue or a game-specific implementation problem. You get excellent raw performance in titles like Call of Duty Black Ops 6, despite the issues with FSR. Cooling is really good, but the fan can get really loud at 100%. So I cap it at 50%. Stability out of the box is not guaranteed. Power efficiency is solid for a 330 watt class GPU, though some titles can push it near its thermal and power limits. If you want to stick it to NVIDIA, this is a good option. Compared to the RTX 5070 Ti, the 9070 XT offers similar value, but the NVIDIA cards remain the king in professional workloads like video editing. I ran Puget Bench for Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Photoshop. The results were a mixed bag. This is a gaming first card, so I'm not surprised. The dedicated H.265 10-bit 422 decoders on the 50 series cards are hard to ignore. AMD sadly doesn't offer such hardware support for that specifically. I'll stick with my RTX 5080 FE for video editing, as it has two 422 10-bit encoders and decoders, and a 9070 or 9070 XT for 1440p or 4K gaming. I wish AMD offered a founder's option. Their previous cards look pretty awesome. The best looking 9070 XT in my opinion is the Nitro Plus from Sapphire. And thank you Noctu for sending over this amazing hoodie. The best. See you guys next time. God.